Hi guys, welcome. Today I want to talk about writing names on Christmas ornaments. And this ornament is 2¼ inches across, so it's not really a lot of space. So how do I handle that? Well, first of all, I prep the cookies. I've done 2 layers of the sun-kissed gold for the top of the ornament. I did that by having 5 on my little turntable at once. I would put on like 1 layer of gold and go around, and by the time I did the 5, the first cookie was dry, and then I did the second layer, and that's it. So they're all prepped and ready to go. But what I really wanted to talk to you about was how I go about getting ready to do the work, the actual writing. So the customer gave me the list of names, and the first thing I do is I use one of my brush pens. I like the Tombow hard tip, and I go through and write out the names in just, really rough, crappy looking, but that's not the point. I'm not trying to be pretty. What I want to do is, by going through the exercise of actually writing out the name, it gives me an idea of how much space that name is going to take up. So, for example, if you've got a name like Lindsay, these letters together really take up a lot of real estate. You've got the width for the D, then you're going into the S, the A is wide, the Y. Like when you think about painting, these 4 letters here could easily take up half the cookie. So when you do your practice writing with your brush pen, it really does emphasize how careful you're going to have to be when you start writing some of these names on your cookie. The other thing is, like a short name is not necessarily easier because, do you want to have it perfectly centered? How do you enter the name? How do you leave the exit and all this kind of stuff? If you've got a name that's, kind of like nice to write, it's only 4 letters, it would look really pretty if it was spread out. You also have to be careful because you don't want your entry stroke to be too long, because if it is and your spacing isn't pretty accurate, you're not going to have enough space for your exit, so it's not going to look balanced. So it's just a really good idea to write the letters out or write the names out, see where you can save space if you need to have drop connections. Bouncing the letters is always a good idea, because at least when the letters are bounced, it looks like it's not supposed to be written perfectly straight. So, all these things beforehand, how you want to do the T, just is a really good exercise for you, so that when you go to write on the cookie itself, you have a pretty good idea of how much of an entrance you want, how you're going to finish the name off, how you're going to do the connections, and whether or not the chances are high that you're going to totally screw it up. So I don't know, for me, I always bake a lot of extra cookies when it comes to, having to write on something. So, okay, now what? The other thing that I do is, for the actual writing on the cookie, I have it on my table because I didn't always. I used to have it like up on my little turntable, but that extra elevation on the turntable, it's just so much harder, because it changes the angle of the brush and everything like that. So if you think about your calligraphy work, when you're holding your pen and writing on paper, already you're writing on a surface the surface that's higher up. It is likely slightly curved, which also screws up the angles and whatnot with your brush. So, there's massive potential for a whole bunch of things to go wrong when you're writing on cookies. But, just do the best you can, as long as it doesn't look like a complete piece of crap. No, that's not true. It does matter. I mean, I always do the best possible work that I can, and I don't let my customer have it unless I know it's the best and as beautiful as I can make it with the current level of skill that I'm at right now. It's always the goal. So what I'm using is this smallish brush, that I haven't actually used before for writing, but yesterday I was using my spotter brush, and that was okay because the names were just like 3 and 4 letters, and but the spotter brush was making the letters very wide, and obviously with some of these names I just can't afford to have that space. So I'm using this narrow brush, and it's damp with wash. I'm picking up gel. I want to start with the pink, and let's just go for it. And then you can get your little turntable and just like clean it up a little bit, or a lot, depending on how it looks. So obviously, if you can, you're going to want to use different colors so that all the cookies look different and colorful. I have a feeling that my customer is going to be using these as place settings on the dining room table for her guests, because there is like a whole bunch. There's like 14 of these that I'm doing. So they do look really nice if you can use different colors of gel. So to that end, start with the lighter colors of gel first, like your pinks, the peach, golden yellow, anything like that you want to do first. I'm just messing around because I think this is done and I don't want to screw it up. Huge potential for screw up. So use the lighter colored gels first, because the other day when I was doing the writing, one of the names, like I was using the moss green, which is great, and it turned out really, really well, but it took forever to get that moss green off the brush before I could move on to the next color of gel that I wanted to use. So do all the cookies with the lighter shades first before you move on to the darker ones. So I'm gonna leave you alone now. I just wanted to tell you how I tackle these sorts of jobs. Yeah, I guess the thumbnail that I'll use for the video will be, a group shot of all the cookies that are painted, so that you can have an idea of how the different colored gels look, and you know, honestly, for a Christmas ornament, these were really cute because I packaged them in my biodegradable cellophane bag, sorry, and I punch a hole in them and use pink yarn, and then they can hang on the Christmas tree. Okay, enough about me. Thank you so much for your company, and I'll see you next time.